What is it about stories like Antony and Cleopatra that continue to resonate with us today? What makes them so enduring? And how do they shape our perception of history? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we are going to be discussing the series finale of Antony and Cleopatra. So if you haven't watched it yet, this video will contain spoilers. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry because I will fill you in. But for those of you who have seen the series, let us talk about some of the most shocking moments from the finale and why this show had me binge watching all 10 episodes in less than 24 hours. Let's start at the beginning of the episode. We see Mark Antony, a Roman general, march into Actium to find Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen. As he searches for her throughout the city, we learn more about their relationship and the events leading up to this point. We also meet Octavian, who is Caesar's adopted son and heir apparent. He is in Rome trying to persuade the Senate to make him emperor. Meanwhile, back in Alexandria, Cleopatra and Antony prepared to defend their kingdom against Octavian's forces. They gather an army and navy and set sail for Actium. During the battle, Cleopatra's fleet is defeated and she and Antony flee to Egypt. They rule over their remaining territories and live a life of luxury and excess while plotting their revenge against Octavian. After 10 years in exile, Cleopatra is ready to take action. She has an army and navy ready to go and set sail for Actium. There she defeats Octavian's fleet and forces him to flee. However, before they can celebrate their victory, Cleopatra's counselors convince her that she needs to end her relationship with Antony in order to secure her kingdom's future. So she breaks up with him and he is devastated. Antony returns to Rome, where he is made emperor and marries Octavian's sister Octavia. Meanwhile, Cleopatra returns to Alexandria, where she gives birth to Caesarion, her son, with Antony. When Octavian invades Egypt, Caesarion is killed and Cleopatra takes her own life. Octavian becomes the first emperor of Rome and his adopted father's name is changed to Augustus. The empire is now ruled by a single person instead of three. As I was watching the series, there were so many shocking moments that kept me on the edge of my seat. One of the most shocking was when Cleopatra broke up with Antony because she thought it was better for her kingdom. Another shocking moment was when Caesarion was killed during Octavian's invasion of Egypt. Finally, one of the most surprising twists came at the end when Octavian became the first emperor of Rome and his adopted father's name was changed to Augustus. The play Antony and Cleopatra is one of Shakespeare's greatest tragedies, and it tells the story of the last active pharaoh of ancient Egypt. The play is set in the 1st century BC, and it follows the relationship between Mark Antony, our Roman general, and Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen. The play begins with the two lovers meeting for the first time, and it quickly becomes clear that they are deeply in love. However, their relationship is doomed from the start, as Antony is married to Octavia, a Roman noblewoman. Despite this, the two lovers continue to meet in secret, and they eventually decide to flee to Egypt together. As I watched the series, I couldn't help but think about how much tragedy there is in Shakespeare's plays. In this particular play, we see the tragic downfall of two lovers who were torn apart by circumstance. We also see the tragedy of Rome, which is on the verge of civil war. The play is full of death, betrayal, and heartbreak. The series did a great job of showing the power of love. Even though Antony and Cleopatra come from different worlds, they are drawn to each other and their love is undeniable. Despite the obstacles in their way, including Antony's marriage to Octavia, the two lovers are willing to risk everything for each other. This is truly inspiring, and it shows that love is one of the most powerful forces in the world. While I loved seeing the power of love on display, I also couldn't help but think about how love can also be a destructive force. In the series, we see how Antony and Cleopatra's love for each other ultimately leads to their downfall. Their relationship causes political turmoil and it eventually leads to civil war. This is a cautionary tale that shows how love can sometimes be dangerous. I was also struck by how much love changes things. In the series, we see how Antony is transformed by his love for Cleopatra. He goes from being a respected Roman general to becoming a disgraced traitor. Similarly, Cleopatra is also changed by her love for Antony. She goes from being a cunning and ruthless queen to becoming a lovesick woman who is willing to do anything for her beloved. This shows us that love has the power to change people, and sometimes not for the better. Overall, I am very impressed with the series. The acting is superb and the production values are top-notch. The series does a great job of bringing Shakespeare's classic play to life. I highly recommend it to anyone who is a fan of historical dramas or just good storytelling in general. Now, let's move on to the next point. What lessons can we learn from these historical romances? Well, for starters, we can learn about the importance of following your heart. In the series, we see how Antony and Cleopatra's love for each other conquers all obstacles. They are from different worlds, but their love for each other is what brings them together. This teaches us that we should always follow our hearts and never give up on the ones we love. We can also learn about the importance of loyalty. In the series, we see how Antony and Cleopatra are loyal to each other, even when times are tough. They never betray each other, even when it would be in their best interest to do so. This teaches us that loyalty is one of the most important qualities in a relationship. Finally, we can learn about the importance of sacrifice. In the series, we see how Antony and Cleopatra are willing to sacrifice anything for each other. They are willing to give up their kingdoms and their lives for each other. This teaches us that sacrifice is an important part of any relationship and that we should be willing to sacrifice anything for the ones we love. So, what is it about these stories that continue to resonate with us today? What makes them so enduring? And how do they shape our perception of history? Well, I believe that these stories continue to resonate with us today because they deal with universal themes that we can all relate to. They are stories about love, loss, jealousy, revenge, and redemption. These are all themes that are as relevant today as they were when the stories first took place. These stories also endure because they are well told. They have been passed down through generations and have been adapted countless times for film, television, and stage. This means that these stories have had centuries to be perfected, and we have been able to watch them evolve over time. Finally, these stories endure because they teach us important lessons about history. They teach us about the rise and fall of empires, about the nature of power, and about the human condition. By learning about these stories, we gain a deeper understanding of the world around us and our place in it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.